Hi, my name's Adam Erickson. We're at the Colloquium on Violence and Religion at the Notre Dame Conference 2010. And I just wanted to ask Hanna a few questions. Hanna, you've been coming to cover for a few years now.
No, actually my first time was last year in London.
Okay.
But I plan to make it an annual tradition because I loved it so much.
Great. What is it that you love about cover?
Well, it's a cliche, but like the people, in the sense that I come from literary studies, and when I come here, I meet people from all over, like the whole interdisciplinary utopia sort of becomes true in cover, and it's lovely to meet like clinical psychologists, salesmen, even quantum physicists, and also my own literary colleagues. And it's only when I get back to my literary setting that the problems begin, because I'm blamed that I'm too Girardian and don't pay enough heed to my specifically literary studies, which is something I hope I will be able to sort of atone in my dissertation. That's a work in progress, that I can sort of marry my own field of narratology and narrative theory and specifically literary theory with the broader thought of Girard.
Yeah, I'm interested in how mimetic theory influences the way that you go about your studies.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because when I started as a freshman way back, more years than I care to remember, Girard really wasn't among the literary theorists, whereas, for example, Derrida was immediately introduced to young freshmen, and as was Lacan, Foucault. So it was when I was working on my master's thesis in comparative literature, my professor pointed me towards Deceit, Desire and the Novel, because I had told her that I wanted to study character relationships, and especially a kind of idolatry motif, that a main character in a book, perhaps an archetypal example would be The Great Gatsby by Fitzgerald, but also of course the doubles of Dostoevsky's work, and I wanted to explore that in more contemporary English language fiction, which I had an access to because I don't read Russian, I'm afraid, so I couldn't be. I'm a frustrated Dostoevsky scholar.
Yeah.
But so she said, "Oh yeah, that's Deceit, Desire and the Novel by Girard," and she gave it to me without knowing the ramifications of that fateful reading tip, because I read myself into Girard and I've never looked back since.
Yeah.
And what really, to get back to your specific question on Deceit, Desire and the Novel, what struck me was the sense of coming home, in a way, because when Girard talks about the conversion, it was something that I had always thought that was, self-evident in my favorite novelist Dostoevsky's work, and I was sort of dismayed to find out that that's become an increasingly taboo subject in Dostoevsky studies and in novel analysis in general, because Bakhtin, who is a very brilliant and useful theorist, and I'm not an expert on him, so I really can't criticize him, is sort of like he has created this school of Dostoevsky analysis, which focuses on polyphony and the dialogue, sort of a never-ending dialogue between characters, whereas Girard, without, I think, explicit reference to Bakhtin, but anyway said that, Dostoevsky is basically about conversion. When Raskolnikov goes to Siberia and experiences his conversion, it's very much a part of Crime and Punishment, also in the artistic sense, whereas some scholars have tended to downplay that and say that it's a Deus ex machina device that Dostoevsky was forced to sort of half-heartedly introduce so as to appease his censors. But then he goes on and says, like, well, Don Quixote has a conversion ending, Stendhal's The Red and the Black has a conversion ending, and in a wonderful way he says that why should we want to negate that? And I really, so this sort of that's been my sort of guiding reading strategy through the influence of that book, that I always look for the conversion ending, and of course many times it's not that obvious, and sometimes it never comes, but I've been sort of Girard gave me the courage to sort of legitimize this a Christian narrative poetic motivation of looking forward to, looking towards whether there is some sort of a sort of being freed from an idolatrous relationship with another person, and finding a transcendency outside. And yeah, so it's really the only problem is that it's too fascinating. I'm too much of a Girardian.
Well, that gets some of us into trouble, but it's a lot of fun, and thank you for being
well,
here.
Thank
and
you.
Your presence is great here at Covers, so thank you.
It's great to be here, and I look forward to new covers.
Yes.